What's up, YouTube? It's Dweebo here with my brand new show, series, whatever you want to call it, called Hangouts. Hangouts is going to be a series where I sit down with just myself, or I'll have some guests on the show, some of the other Dweebros, some of my other friends will sit down on the couch and for about 30 minutes to an hour, sit down with different games, some that we've played before, some that we maybe have never played before, and some games that are newly released. It'll be a mix of classics, new releases, anything. And just to give like a 30-minute to an hour kind of sit down, commentate over if it's a game we've played before, possibly, or a game that's kind of newer. We'll even review it sometimes. Sometimes it'll just be kind of a chill kind of hangout thing. But what I'm trying to capture is kind of a hangout feel. A kind of just commentary, maybe some memories of the game if they're older, stuff like that. So for the first Hangouts, I wanted to do Yakuza Kiwami. I picked this up just the other day. It's my first time with the series. This is a remake of the very first Yakuza that came out in 2005 on PS2. It was Japan only on PS3, and then they ported it to PS4, and guess what? They did the translation for us. Thank you, Sega. And yeah, this has been really interesting because I've never played any of these games before, so enough of the chit chat. Let's go straight into the game. Alright, so here's the game. I am at Chapter 7, so if you're worried about spoilers and stuff, if you're past Chapter 7, or maybe you don't really, weren't thinking about playing this game, that's where I'm at, just so you know. And yeah, so I'm just, right now in the story, I have to find out where this $10 billion went, that the family, it's all the Yakuza, it's all these Japanese gangsters or whatever, and money has gone away. Kiryu is the main character I'm playing as now. He got locked up at the beginning of the game because he took the heat for his buddy. Because his buddy decided to kill one of the main bosses, which you don't really have to be in the Yakuza to know, probably shouldn't do that. Took the heat, went to jail, and now Kiryu is back to figure out who's causing mischief right now in the family. What a cool character. I'm really liking the character so far. I've played the Shenmue games. That could be a really cool hangout, just playing those games. Because those games cracked me up at like the bad voice acting, but the very cool moments in it. I even didn't dislike the fighting in it. And I just always would I always just had a great time just laughing out loud, but then as it went along going like, I'm kind of intrigued on this story. I really want to know what happened to this dude's dad. And I really highly recommend those games if you want a good laugh. And if you're patient with that kind of stuff, just for the weird Japanese quirkiness of it. So people recommended this game to me, and it is like Shenmue in some ways where you're doing the side quests. The side quests are kind of kooky and weird sometimes. The little mini games are funny, and there's funny moments in this game as well. What this game almost does kind of better is I'm genuinely just, excuse me, the story is really interesting. It's like a Japanese soap opera, but I'm really intrigued by the story. Much the same way as was with Shenmue and trying to find out who killed his father and all that stuff that was going on. So the graphics look freaking great for a PS3 remastered port. Oh my gosh, I think there's just moments in this game where I'm like, is this really a PS3 port? Like, man, the facial animations, and just the story I'm just really enjoying so far. So that's pretty cool. If you saw me earlier pick up that little coin off the ground, or not the coin, the key, there's like these coin lockers, so if you go around, you'll see little sparkling stuff sometimes on the ground, and those are those keys to the key locker, to the coin locker, sorry. And there's just little treasures in there, just all around. So I think there's one right here, yeah. Oh, crap. So one thing about this game I'm kind of mixed on, but it's good to like, kind of mix up the action, and two, I think this game was a PS2 game, so the designs were different back then. You know, they're remaking a PS2 game. But there's these random battles that I'm doing right now. So they're not really story things. They're almost like random battles in a JRPG kind of deal. Kind of not paying attention right now. But I'm kind of getting used to the fighting system. When you fight enough, you build up this bar at the bottom, your heat bar, I think it's called. And what you can do is you can do kind of these special moves. So if he had more health, I could have grabbed him by the back of his neck, and did like a slammed his head into the concrete, those kind of moves and stuff. So here's one of those things. So I like how there's varied things in this world. There's this kind of weird like coin logger stuff where there's fun little stuff in there. Some side quests have you go into like supermarkets and grabbing stuff. And I really like the map system. Sometimes they're like, hey, some of the stuff's on, for example, the Tehe Boulevard or whatever. When I first got those keys, it said that, I'm really mispronouncing this, but the Tehe Boulevard coin locker, you got the key to that. They didn't give you like, you know, a marker for that. I just had to kind of search around and I found the coin locker up in one of these areas. And sometimes they're just like, hey, we need you to get something from the store. We need this item. And you'll have to find just a random store. It doesn't matter. Some of them don't have the certain item. I had to actually go down here for something recently. So that was only here. So I like when a game kind of just says, hey, take a left here, does that. It does that to a point. But as you can see too, they still, if you want to find the main stuff, they will put this pink marker. And that's kind of my next story objective. And then these markers right here, nothing shows up for them, but that's my side quest stuff. And I'm wondering, and maybe someone can answer this in the comments, I don't know if they had that in the original PS2 game, but I could be wrong. This could be more newer stuff. And you can use the touchpad even, that's definitely new. Didn't have a touchpad on PS2. To kind of move around here, you can use the analog stick. But yeah, I like the system they got going here, and the world of just like all these lights, especially at nighttime. I love going around here. But right now I'm headed to a tattoo shop because they found this woman who's connected in all this kind of mystery stuff. I won't go in all that stuff, but my main mission right now is to go to this tattoo shop because they pulled up a dead body, and on the body was a tattoo, and the marking on it and the style, Karu said, guess what, I got a tattoo, because he has a whole freaking back full of tattoos, which I not too long ago learned that in Japan, tattoos are more of a sign of the Yakuza, like criminal and stuff. They're really kind of more frowned upon, whereas now, you know, here in the US, I mean, some people can still have stereotypical views on tattoos, but it's kind of interesting that that's like a sign of like, oh, it's in the Yakuza. So if I want to appear as like a really cool guy, I'm just gonna get tattoos to go to Japan. So right now we're headed to the tattoo shop, all that to be said. I'm headed there to check out if this guy knows this girl, if he can help me along in the mystery. And also, see right now I can go up here and I can intervene, or I can run away, but if I intervene and fight those guys, I can actually get an item, but I don't freaking care right now. Sometimes I just want to go jump to main stuff, main kind of stories and what have you. What's this guy running? What's he want? Oh, he's mad. So some of this stuff, yeah, some of these side quests come out of nowhere, which I think is really interesting. I'll just go along a street, I'll go in a bar somewhere, there'll be somebody to talk to, somebody will come up and start a side quest thing. And I really like that. That's kind of, some of the stuff I've done so far is kind of really interesting and fun that I've done, so. Side quests to me are kind of a hit and miss thing. I don't like the kind of go here fetch quests. Those are boring. I've done those a trillion times, and now I avoid them like the plague. I have so many games to play that I don't want to freaking do fetch quest all day. So this one, oh, I'm in a fight now. Sometimes I'm like helping some guy find this, or you know, it's been pretty varied so far, but we'll see. So here's my special move. Boom, hit him up against the thing. I love when they I love when he grabs the head and just slams it into the thing. There's so many weird ones that you can do. Mm-hmm. Have we met? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. So that's how. So that's one of the coin locker things. So yeah, Kairu's kind of a legend now. He took off this big freaking boss, and he came back after 10 years. That's right at the beginning of the game. They kind of explore that. I thought that was a cool freaking way to start the game. I did not know they were going to do that. But also, as you saw in the fight, and I'll bring it up next time we're in the fighting so you can see more of it, you can change different styles. I kind of like the brawler style, but sometimes if a freaking boss is tearing me apart... Oh, and also, like the random battles, if I would have went that way, those bad guys would have called up to me and I would have been in a freaking fight. Do I have to go this way? Let's see if I can go around this way. But I love like the design and all these posters and stuff. Like, I've never been to Japan personally, but like the level of detail and like the bricks, like the brick like kind of fading over here. The lights at night look so great. And then you can notice too, and I love this, and I'm trying to think, there was another game I played not too long ago that did this. Metal Gear Solid 5 does it to a degree, but I love this kind of like, see how it's blurring out this guy in the foreground because it's focusing on Kairu. I think that's how you say the name. And you'll see that in stores and stuff too. They'll fade out like the foreground to focus on the middle, which is Kairu or whatever. So freaking cool. It does it with the background, of course, too, as you can see. It's kind of has an effect. See if we can do it to this car right here. It does it better when you're kind of inside. Now I'm just kind of looking like a Joker. But I love that effect. You'll see it if I get in this tattoo parlor, most likely. I should just shut up till then. Want to get inked? But this game has been really funny before. Ah, frick, goons. So I'm going to change my style just so you can see it. So here's the dragon style. What I also like about this game is, crap. I'm getting wiped out. I'm not good at this game yet, guys, so sorry. Is picking up items and just going to town on people is so fun. But I've found myself really liking it's not fast enough. The rush style is freaking fast. It's fun to play. The brawler is, but I don't really like dragon. And then they have a kind of a slow, strong style that is too slow. But I've never really heard a consensus on kind of the combat system in this game. I've kind of heard stuff where as it went along, the fighting got better. Crap. You goon. You goon. That's it. You're getting thrown in the trash with a plastic bucket. Dead. You're dead. I love these ending animations where he punches people out and they go flying. It's so funny. Could this happen? Okay, there's the tattoo shop. So there'll probably be a cutscene here, so I might go quiet for a second. So I'm liking this mystery a lot. And also, this is the first game I've played with subtitles. Never done that before. I've always just listened. I like to be just talked to when I play the game. I don't like to read subtitles. Anime I'm fine with and all that stuff, or foreign films. But when I'm playing a game, man, I'm trying to do multiple things at once. But this has been fine. This has been really good. Some of this could be really funny Japanese soap opera of like flashbacks and stuff. So they'll probably do one right here even. But I'm really invested in the story a lot. I think this is genuinely cool what they did with the story and the characters and stuff. I'm really digging this a ton. Like I said, some parts are kind of corny with this kind of like, they'll do this weird flashback, Japanese like soap opera flashback. It's fine though. It kind of reminds me of Shenmue and just, it's different culture. Like how cool is that? That's the guy he actually took the hit for. That guy killed the boss, and he was a really good friend of him and stuff, and he wanted him to, like, go on and be protected. But, like, what a cool story of, like, that, like, kind of fricked him up. That's interesting. And now he's, like, mad at Kairu because, like, all these people don't respect him. All this stuff is going on in the 10 years since he left. Very cool. Very cool. Like I said, I'm genuinely really interested in all this stuff. Like I said, I really like the design, the environments and stuff. I mean, never been to Japan, like I said, but I feel like this is pretty one-to-one accurate. Man, I don't want to fight. I'm always running for these battles. I don't want to fight. Leave me alone. I know you get more experience stuff, but I like getting stuff from the story kind of scenarios, getting experience that way. But as you can see, the green bar at the top left, where it says 67 at, right now, that's my experience points. I need to actually use those. The middle bar, the orange bar, is my health, and the bottom is that heat. As you fight along in battle, once that goes up, you can start doing those special moves. Money, of course, is yen up in the corner. We're in Japan. Don't expect dollars. What are you thinking? And here, I'll go through all of this stuff. So equipment and stuff, you can equip different, like, you can even get, like, guns and stuff in this game, which I thought was kind of funny. Because a lot of people just kind of fight with their fist and knives and stuff. Because Japan are very strict on guns. They don't really, I don't think they like guns at all. So the Yakuza kind of figured it out, though. You know, they got the connections. But yeah, so and then the inventory kind of reminds me of Resident Evil on there. With you can only have so many slots, except Resident Evil kind of, you're moving around stuff like guns and rotating them, but you can only have so many, which is whatever. I'm getting used to it. I kind of like having just as many as I can, but I understand, like, they're trying to restrict you for battle, so I don't abuse it and just have 300 health items that I can use. So that makes sense. But your abilities, you have Soul, Tech, Body, and Dragon here, and Soul kind of is like kind of the special, like what I have right now, basically. When you get the heat gauge all the way up, it's all that stuff. The tech is just different abilities and stuff. So quick step, like right there, after weaving away. It's different abilities while you're fighting. Kind of cool. Body is what I've been doing a lot of because it raises your health up and stuff. But this is a lot of stuff too with, like, kind of the strong stance that I was talking about. It's kind of slower but stronger. And this is one of the cool things that they did, that I do know that they did add, that was not in the original Yakuza. What this is called Majima Everywhere. It's a new system, and this character, I believe he was in the original Yakuza, but they made him kind of more of a presence in this game. So what happens is this guy, like, you come back after 10 years, he's like, I still want to fight you, blah, blah. I'm going to show up everywhere because you need to be fought and I need to help you with your skills because I just want to fight you, Kairu. That's all I want to do. So he will jump out of nowhere. Sometimes it's such a silly character. Like this cop one, this is the early, like, I've not done a lot of these just yet, but he was a cop one time and jumped out at me, and I had to have a weapon on me in order to fight him, so I had to go get a weapon, which I found later in the chapter. And then we fought. Very funny, but that is how you get all your abilities back. So at the beginning of the game, before you go to jail, you have all these abilities, but you've been in jail so long, you forget them. I thought it was a funny way to kind of explain away and get your skills back up. Made sense for the character. The story is actually really cool for it. But you fight him enough, and that's how you get these abilities back, these new abilities. So those you can't really just use experience points on. So I'm actually going to use some of these right now. And as you go up, it starts to be more expensive. So as you can see, I'm going to be spending a lot for those. But I usually go like ring by ring. So the first couple were 3. See, you needed 3 experience. These you need 10. So I'm going to do this. And get these out of the way. Because it seems I'm getting more experience as it goes along. Boom, I just boosted my attack damage. Let's see what is on soul abilities here. think everything is like 50 now. Oh my gosh. That's expensive. Oh no, those are 10. So you get to choose kind of like when you want stuff, what stuff's going to be helpful for the way you play. But I'm kind of like OCD and I just like to collect everything I can. So when your first attack after the start of the battle sends an enemy flying, the heat gauge will fill dramatically. Okay. Anything that gives you a little boost. See, I don't really get drunk a lot. I try to keep them sober. Oh, crap. Well, how did I get that? Oh, I gotta get this one. When you are wounded. Okay, when I'm wounded, my attack goes up. Evade an attack at the last moment, causing them to shatter their fist on the wall behind you. Only usable to climax heat mode. Interesting. Okay. So we gotta meet this guy. So the day and night system's kicking in. It's about dusk right now. The lights are getting brighter. You can go in the places that actually have on the map, like the orange and stuff. You can go into. So I can go into the shop. Maybe I can show you the blur effect that I love so much in here. A little better. No, I can't. Daggone it, I want stuff to blur out. I can get food here, but I don't want to. I'm not a foodie. I'm not a foodie in this game. I'm role playing as a Yakuza guy. Jeez. These give you CP points, which I'm not quite entirely sure what they are yet, but as you do little tasks, they show you up there. They're like little in-game achievements. So it's kind of neat. I wonder if the original game had that. That would be really cool to see. Because it was 05 on PS2. No achievements yet. But I bet they knew about them. 360 came out that year. If you're a Yakuza developer, type in the comments yes or no. If I'm on the right track. I do not want to fight. I do not want to fight goons. The little exclamation mark. I've kind of left that side quest. I have to figure out where alcohol is and bring it to a drunk guy in there. So that should be interesting. That's the second woman I've seen slapped in this game. Is that something with Japanese culture where we're just slapping women? I don't get it. I mean, well, they're freaking Yakuzas, I should say too. They're not like stand-up citizens. Man, I love these characters, man. Like everybody has like kind of a want in this whole situation. There you can see the blurred effects very well. So see how it's blurring the light in the top corner, it's blurring his back as I'm in here. This is a really cool, like, it almost reminds me of old Resident Evil, old PS1, like, pre-drawn backgrounds. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, in a way it does, because it almost looks like it was like, it's there and you can't really interact with it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I like that style. I don't know. Yeah, so... yeah, this game is really cool. There's a lot of like the combats and stuff's really kind of neat. It's kind of like a brawler style. There is some like quick time events you can kind of get into with like some of the bosses, at points. But everybody's got their little story. Everybody's kind of got their, like, the character development so far has been like, I genuinely care about these characters. This guy thinks we need to go after, I agree. The dog barks. That was a funny little thing, finding that dog. But yeah, I think the graphics look great. I'm having a great time with the story. It's so interesting. And the combat, like I said, is fun. Unless the goons come up, then I don't freaking care about the goons. Do not care about the goons. But this series has freaking all of these games. They're up to, not counting Kiwami because it is a remake or whatever. I just put one in Kiwami in the same vein. They have 6 games. Well, no, 7. Counting Yakuza 0. There are 7 games in the series, and I don't feel like playing 7 games. If it was like a trilogy type thing, or there's 4 games even, maybe I'll play all of them. But my plan, and maybe people might fight me on this, I'm playing Kiwami first because I want to see how the series started. You know, this original character, his original like stuff. I'm playing 0 next, and then I'm going to play Yakuza 6. And in between Yakuza and Yakuza 0, I'm going to watch 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever. I keep hearing about a theater mode that the game does a really good job of catching you up on the story. That's what I'm gonna do. But man, there's so many games in this series that I'm gonna just play that. Play it that way. Those 3 games, and I'm hearing that like through the years they kind of refine the combat. And of course the graphics look better than a PS2 game, but they are remaking Yakuza 2. That was another PS2 title. And they are remaking that one. So I might come back and play that one, but I just want to play the 3 I mentioned. It's kind of a hard place to come into the Yakuza series so late. It's kind of hard to do that. But yeah, I think I've said all I could say so far about this game. Oh, I didn't get to check how long I've been playing. I said I was going to find out. 10 hours. Okay, I've been playing 10 hours of this, so I'm actually pretty 3/4 of the way, it seems like, through. Yeah, I love the graphics. I'm having fun with the story. I really want to get to the next thing. I have like kind of a urge to do that. The environments are kind of neat. Like, look at this. Like, what's this freaking poster? There's tons of stuff just to explore around the little city and look at, like the details they put in everywhere. The conversations are really funny at times, and they do a good job. It's like Shenmue on freaking crack, or like if Shenmue never ended. And I'm having a really fun time with it, and yeah, so I'll probably do another hangout for Yakuza 0 possibly, and Yakuza 6 when that comes out. But thank you for joining me on the first Hangouts. Let me know what you thought, and I think I'm pretty far enough in this game that I feel pretty confident in giving it my review. And on my review scale, you can look back at my video if you want to see my review scale, why I give stuff a certain score. I give this game a rad. I think this will be something that I might return to, possibly. Definitely worth checking out, and it's really cool. I don't really play a lot of Sega games, and this was really cool to play a Sega game that I really enjoyed. So between this and Sonic Mania this year, Sega's back, baby. They don't need to make the Dreamcast 2, just make more Yakuza games. And I think I heard that 6 will be the last in Kairu's story, and then they're still probably going to do Yakuza games, most likely, just outside of his story, which I think I get it after 7 games. They're putting 7 games in the series, but thank you guys for joining me. Let me know what you think, and until next time, stay. What is a Yakuza saying? Watch your back? I don't know. Thanks for watching.